Imagine that a single number on a screen could cost you $200,000. That's exactly how much I almost overpaid for my first property before I understood the rules of the game. Today, I'm going to teach you how to hack the credit system in 90 days, using my own experience as an example. Watch until the end, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, what score is stopping you from living freely? When I first walked into a bank, my credit score was only 621. I was met with a polite rejection. You'll get the loan, but at 7% interest. For a $350,000 house, that meant I would basically be giving the bank $180,000 in pure profit. I didn't sign the deal. Instead, I told the banker, "Give me 90 days." He just smiled, implying that credit history cannot be rushed, that it grows over years. But I knew something that 99% of borrowers don't. I returned exactly 93 days later. My score had jumped to 761 points. The banker refreshed the page 3 times because he couldn't believe his eyes. He looked for an error. But all he found was a perfect financial history that I had built in just 3 months. This single move saved me $215,000 in interest. I didn't change my job, I didn't get an inheritance, and I didn't win the lottery. I simply used a mechanism that banks understand perfectly but will never explain to you, because it would rob them of their profit. The standard advice, pay on time and wait decades, is a half-truth. It's profitable for banks to keep you in the average borrower category for years. That way, you pay higher interest on cars, insurance, and housing. You are their primary asset. My main tool was age. Many people don't know that 15% of your score is based on the length of your credit history. Most people think you can't buy time. If you're 20, you can't have a 10-year history. But the system actually allows you to import it. I asked a relative with a perfect history to add me as an authorized user to their old card. That account was 23 years old and had 0 debt. As soon as I was added, those 23 years of history instantly appeared on my own report. Overnight, my average account age jumped from 2 years to 12. My thin file, which used to scare banks, suddenly looked like the history of an experienced and reliable investor. This is completely legal and built into the rules of the system. This didn't just work for my mortgage. Later, I helped a friend whose score was 589 due to mistakes in his youth. We added him to my old accounts, and within 60 days, his score soared to 697. In 60 days, accounts with a 37-year perfect history appeared on my friend's report. His credit age grew several times over, and his credit limit became 3 times larger. This allowed him to get a brand new Mercedes-Benz at 6% interest instead of 14%. On a standard $25,000 loan, this difference saved him over $5,000. I spent only 10 minutes online to transfer a decade of financial reputation to him. Now, I'll tell you how you can do the same. The first rule of my method: the account you borrow must be flawless. No late payments in the last 10 years, and the limit usage must be under 10%. The older the card, the more powerful the effect will be. It's important to know that not all banks report data for authorized users. I always recommend working with the major market players. With them, the result appears on your report within 1 or 2 months. This is the fastest path to success. Many people fear the risk, but there is none. For the person adding you, it's completely safe. They can remove you from the account at any second, and you don't even need to hold the physical card in your hands. You only receive the data. You might ask, is this legal? Absolutely. This system was officially created to help families build credit history. Banks cannot ban this without destroying the entire structure of lending. I'm simply using the rules. Banks know about this loophole, but they are powerless. Although a live credit officer might notice it during a manual review, 90% of decisions today are made by algorithms. And to an algorithm, you are the perfect client with years of history. But credit age is just the beginning. The second secret I use is the reporting date. Most people pay their bills the day before the deadline, and that is their mistake. The bank reports your debt data on the statement closing date. If you spend $2,000 on a $3,000 limit, the system sees high utilization and penalizes you. But if you pay off the debt 3 days before the statement closes, the bank reports minimal usage. This gives a quick boost to your points. I always keep my utilization between 1 and 3%. This creates the illusion that I use credit but am not dependent on it at all. In the next part, I'll show you how to remove negative records from your report. Now, let's move on to what pulls you down negative records. I often see people living with errors on their reports for years because they fear bureaucracy. But the law is on your side. If a bureau doesn't verify a record within 30 days, they must delete it. When I started, I had an old debt hanging on my report. I didn't ask the bank for a favor. I acted officially through a verification request. Remember, the burden of proof is on them. If they are too lazy to find the paperwork, the record disappears forever. Never resolve these issues over the phone. Words don't count for the record. I always use certified mail with a return receipt. This creates a paper trail that forces bureaus to take you seriously. You become someone who knows their rights. It's important to understand, credit bureaus are private companies that profit from your data. They have no power over you if you act within the Fair Credit Reporting Act. I learned to play on their field and win. Another trick of mine is regularly increasing limits without new inquiries. Every 6 months, I asked banks to raise my limit. This automatically lowers my utilization percentage. The more money they trust you with, the higher your score goes. Many people make the mistake of opening a new card just for the bonuses. Every such attempt is a hard inquiry, which takes points off your score. I only open new accounts when it is strategically necessary for my investments. If you have old collection debts, don't rush to pay them. A payment can revive the reporting date for another 7 years. I always use special agreements. I only pay if they officially agree to delete the debt from my history. Your credit score is your most valuable asset. It's more valuable than cash because it gives you access to an infinite resource of cheap money. I spend time learning, and now the system works for me, not the other way around. Many people say that credit is slavery. I say otherwise. Slavery is ignorance of the rules. When you know how to control your report, you stop being a victim of circumstances and become a master player in the financial system. We've covered the basics, cleaning, and growth strategies. Only one thing remains: how to maintain this result for life. In the following parts, I'll give you a step-by-step action plan that you can start as early as tomorrow. Now you have the knowledge, but you need action. Your first step for tomorrow: download your credit report. Don't be afraid of the numbers. It's just data that we are going to fix. I personally check my report every month. Look for any inaccuracies, old addresses, or names that aren't yours. Every little thing could be a sign of an error. I've learned to be very meticulous because even a wrong letter can cost you money. Clean your report without mercy. If you have old cards that you don't use, never close them. This is my golden advice. Closing an old account instantly reduces your credit age. Just let them sit in a safe and work for you. Once your score crosses a high threshold, business credit at 0% interest will open up for you. I often use the bank's money to invest in my own projects. This is true freedom, where you are the master of your life. The system will try to confuse you with terms and scare you with dropping points. Don't give in. A credit score is just a game of numbers, and I've given you the cheat codes. Be patient, and the result will come very quickly. Remember that a high score is a tool, not an excuse for unnecessary spending. I never buy things I don't need. Use your influence to build a future, not to impress those around you. Now that you know these secrets, help your loved ones. Become the person who can pass this experience on to your children or parents. This is the best legacy you can leave: financial literacy and opportunity. My mission as the money hacker is to make financial knowledge accessible to everyone. Banks profit from your ignorance, but I help you become free. We are changing the rules of the game together, step by step, point by point. If this information was useful to you, hit the like button and share this video. The more of us who know the rules, the less chance the system has to trap us. I've left links to useful resources in the description. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Remember, your score is your freedom. Act today so that tomorrow the money works for you. I am the Money Hacker, and I am here for you to win. See you soon.